Hang on one second. Need to reset the mic. Okay, hopefully that's worked. Good afternoon, Shaggy SoCal with Tool for Forza, and this is the track guide for race 2 for this coming Thursday for TNT in the 2020 Toyota Supra. First race will be Indy GP. Second race is at the Nürburgring GP. Now, we were just here in the Civics and the Civic touring cars last season, but that was the short version, and it was in the rain. So I don't know if rain will be in the forecast this time. I think we all kind of got sick of the variable weather saying, "Oh, you like rain." But enough about that. Same format. So I'm going to go out run a few laps. Let me make sure I've got the right fuel and tire. Am I going to do this on mediums? Yeah, I'll do this on mediums. So I'll run a couple laps on mediums, then I'll probably do a slower track walk, pointing out some of the things that I've noticed with this car, what it likes, what it doesn't like here at the Nürburgring GP circuit. Then because I need to practice, I'm going to run a mock race against the AI and hopefully have semi-competitive race. Still trying to sort out opponent options. And we'll see how it goes. But let's go ahead and get started with just go ahead and start driving. So I was kind of surprised, at least I was expecting like at the Indy GP to really be running into grip issues, just kind of based off what we were seeing at Spa and some corners. But I really think this car in the slower corners, there's much like Spa, I think there's a couple of corners here that, at least on the medium tires, this car does not like. So let's see how it goes. Second gear there. You can probably short shift to third, depending on your preference. This is definitely second. Late apex it here. And then this one's always going to be an interesting. How much of that inside curving do you want to use? Fourth gear, bringing out right where the cones on the turn for the shorter version is. Down to third, probably braked a little too much there. Yeah, I'll follow the racing line. I tend to take this a little bit wider on entry. A little of the hairpin, and brake right about the 100 board. Tires probably still aren't fully up to temperature yet, but the hill, just as you get to the curving, ease off, turn in, use a little bit of the inside there. Just be careful as the car comes off the curving. Third gear, try to stay off the inside curving there. Doesn't help you at all. Still third gear. Oh, too wide. As soon as I felt the left rear go off, it's like, yep, too wide. So third gear onto the backstretch. Now I'm still playing around. I don't know if it'll be different on the softs, but the braking line, once you brake later, then I really want to, for how I want to take the chicane, because they want you to be neat and tidy, and I like being messy. And I'll still have to figure that out. The preferred line is just going, well, you'll see it when we get back there. You can use a lot more curving, carry a little bit more speed through there than what the game is going to ask you to do. So we'll do one more lap. Hopefully I won't bend it or go off track. At least the walls aren't as close as Indy. That was late on the braking. Second gear, we'll short shift to third. Again, there are just times I think the car just is better poised in the higher gear if you have the option. Let that turn a little bit. You can actually take this in fourth if you want. You could take this in third. I just, on a clear lap, you could probably do it in third. I still might go down to second just to help get the car out of the corner. Still late on the breaker. Well, and probably just not braking hard enough. So third gear. Just as you get to the 100 board in the curbing. All right, let's try not to go off track this time. Bring it out. Give yourself a little room. So ignore the braking line. Let's try to go off of braking boards. So 150. It's still probably a little bit. My entry is still a little off, and it really compromises the exit. Okay, so there's 2 laps. Let's take the slower lap now and just kind of talk about a couple of the corners. I mean, we were just here last season, so slightly different handling characteristics, but you know, the track hasn't changed all that much, if at all. So heading down to the heading down to the first corner, I tend to, when I come off the last turn, I'll just kind of let the car drift to the middle because because it kinks here at the end. I just kind of let the without doing a lot of steering, let the car come back to the left side just because the road kinks as it comes down the hill. It usually takes me a couple laps to find that right line down the front straightaway to do that, but then I'm always probably then having to do a little bit of steering when I'm braking so that I'm not going off on the left side. But anyhow, first corner down to second gear, and turn in. You're going to try and get it to that inside curbing as best as you can. It's a hairpin. That one's always tough. Again, careful on throttle exit. Because I tend to, because I back and forth, as it says when we ran the Mazda 787Bs here, I did wind up looping it here, being too aggressive on the throttle with that car. It snapped. This one, I think you'll get a little bit more warning if you're too aggressive on the throttle coming out, but usually I usually don't really, aggressively commit back to full throttle until the car is mostly out and I've unwound the wheel and the car's, the weight's a little more centered on the rear tires. But that's me. Second gear, again, this next corner, you'll bring it out to the right a little bit. I think this one's a corner of preference. In traffic, I'll probably do it in second, just because I want the car a little more on its toes if I need to take evasive action, or it's just I'm going a lot slower than I would on my own. But I honestly, for me, I think it's a short shift to third. The car just feels a little more relaxed. Bring the car in. I am going to probably use a little bit of the inside curbing here, again, because I'll have steering dialed in. I'm getting on the curbing. We know that the car isn't the happiest when you put it on the curbing, especially when you transition back off onto the racing surface. Just be aware, you might feel the car get unsettled. You might feel the back wiggle a little bit. Just balance the car as best you can with the throttle and roll back in as you get out, if you get back on the track. That curbing's not as bad because it's actually relatively flat as well. So third gear up. Again, this is part of the track. I don't have a lot of reference points. I'm probably relying on the braking line a little more than I should. But I'll bring the car out, bring it back over. This is definitely a second gear corner. Get it to the inside, and then I'm actually, I'm actually following the suggested line. I'm actually going to try and keep it all the way in the inside to where I am parallel with the exit curbing or the inside curbing here on the left side. I want to be here at this point because this is one of the hardest turns. I think this is going to wreak the most havoc with us. Just the nature of this next corner. I want to be as far out to the left as possible to open it up. But this corner is treacherous because you're going to turn in. I'm in second gear. I'll probably short shift to third, but as you can see, it's kind of like the opposite of the Indy GP turn 2, and this is a really sharp. It's a 90-degree corner. It's sharp. You can see it crests, It crests into this next section. So that means at apex is where the crest is. So as the back of the car goes over it, the back of the car is going to get light right at the point that you're going to want to really roll back into the throttle and start accelerating out of the corner. To boot, as you get here, let's get to the apex. The curbing, actually, it's not as bad. It's relatively flat. I think the treacherous part is if you turn in too early, there's an extra angle like curbing there on the inside. You try and avoid it. Yeah, I think the ideal line is to take this as late as possible in the apex as you can. Avoid the angled curbing there at all. You're already having to negotiate or get this car over a crest into this infield section or this intersection. Try to stay off that curb there. I will do it in third. I'll try and keep the car. Most likely, I'll probably hit that curbing all the time. Let the car come out, and you still have that crest. There's still a little bit of a road crown. The line out, and I was even doing this in Forza 7. If you get the line right out, you can actually bring the car out and cross bring the car quite a bit over the outside line here. To even to the point where, heck, if it's still paved, I'll use it. So I'll even use some of this green curbing as I'm accelerating out to bring the car back on track. Heading down here, third gear, fourth gear. Oops, not reverse. And braking here is, the cones, I can't guarantee that the cones are going to be there every lap, even if Forza says they will replace them. I think the cones get put back every lap. But usually, again, on the short circuit, this is where we'd be braking to make the right-hand corner to cut across to the back half of the circuit. But this right-hand turn is also a good reference point as well. If you kind of know where that's at, kind of where you can see where the Armco ends on the right side. That's a good place to kind of have as a reference to help you figure out where to brake for this next corner. So depending on the tire and depending on your speed, you're going to brake somewhere as you get to this access road. Again, this is now about choices. You could do this next turn in third or fourth gear, and the turn after that you can do in third or second gear, depending on your preference. I think for me, we'll see what happens when I start getting into the race. I still think for me, I think I will probably put it in third. You get it through here. Coming out, you might give it a little gas to the throttle. I tend to bring the car back a little bit more to the left than what the braking line suggests. Again, personal preference. The further to the left I bring the car, the more I'm opening up if someone's right behind me that they might take a serious look on the inside. So again, maybe on my own I bring it all the way out. Maybe I take and keep it, follow the suggested line, which is a little bit more of a defensive line into this next corner. This one, again, you could do it in third or second. I think I will probably more often than not do it in second, because I just think getting back to the throttle, I feel like the car, I get a little more oomph out of the corner. Bring it out. Second gear, third gear, fourth gear. I can't remember from my previous laps, short-term memory, if I actually get it up into fifth. Probably doubtful, but as I'm heading down for the hairpin, for me, it is that 100 board. It is that green patch of grass between this access road here and then where the curbing starts. That's usually kind of what I'm looking for if I can't see the braking line. You got the 100 board. Actually, you got a 100 board out a little bit further out on the left as well. I brake a little bit differently than what the game suggests. I tend to, because the game wants you to take more of a traditional, you're going to brake along the left side here and then turn in for the hairpin. I tend to angle a little more. I'd rather do my braking straight in towards the inside apex and kind of, I guess you would call it diamonding the corner a bit more than most. So I'm not saying I'm doing it right. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You figure out what works best for you. But I'll be braking in a straight line and coming across the track. Now, certainly if someone's looking to take, if someone's alongside, I can't do that. That would be bad. But if you got someone that might have a run and they're not quite to you yet, this kind of braking line is a little bit defensive going into the corner. But Um, I that's what I'm probably going to end up doing. But again, brake, 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 brake. Hopefully releasing the brakes about here in second gear. If I get it right, I'll be able to hold the inside a little bit. It might push out wide. Uh, I might push out wide a little bit if I carry too much speed in. So it's not an optimal line. So maybe I need to not do that. But we'll see what happens in the mock race. Again, keep it to the inside. Roll back in second gear. Out. Might use a little bit of this exit curbing. Might not. Up to third. Now we hit to the Schumacher S's. What I'm aiming for is I'm coming out of the hairpin is I'm aiming to get the right side tires up on the curbing just as I get to them. And then that's kind of my, as I get the right side tires here, that's kind of, this is where I'm going to get off the gas and turn in for the first part of the Schumacher S. So it'll be a lift of the throttle. Don't need to really brake, just lift. Turn the car in. You can see the black mark on the inside of the curbing on the opposite side of the red and white striping. You could say you could use that as a target point as far as maybe if you're going to get your tires up on this curbing, that might be a good indicator. Maybe you want to get the tires up on the curbing just past that. Again, this car with curbing, it's hit or miss, and I would say for this Schumacher S, this left side curbing is a little more dangerous than the next one, but that's, I could be wrong. I mean, at least for the laps I've done. So if you want to keep it neat and tidy, you can. If you want to put tires up here, you can. Just again, because you're getting the car off on, it's elevated here, and you're going to clunk it back down onto the pavement. Again, the suspension not always happy with you doing that. So just be mindful, especially on the softer tires, you probably have a little more, the car's a little bit more forgiving, but on the mediums, certainly you might feel the car get a little bit unsettled as you transition on and off the curbing, especially coming off, because you still have steering dialed in, so most of your weight's still on the right side of the car. So hopefully I don't bend it here. Bring the car off, same thing here. You'll bring the car in. The curbing's not as severe. You can get on here a little bit. It's the same kind of thing. If you're going to get on the curbing, just be mindful as the car transitions off of it that it doesn't get unsettled. Again, medium tires is probably more risky than soft. So bring the car all the way out to the left side. Bring it back across to the right. Braking for me, again, the gantry is a really good, something to keep in mind. We all know we're going to have to brake at some point as we get under the gantry. It's usually under the gantry right as you get to this axis right here on the right is where you'll be braking. I've been doing this in third gear. I think third gear. I don't like the inside curbing. The car really, at least for me, as far as carrying speed through here, more often than not, maybe we'll see what it's like on the soft tires. The car just doesn't like that inside curbing. It tends to get the back gets a little unsettled out. So I might try and keep that neat and tidy as much as I can. And as you saw me gracefully demonstrate on the outlap, when you're setting up for this corner onto the back straight, you do want to bring the car as far back across to the left as you can, but just be careful that you don't kiss the grass. You have no curbing to help you. You even drop the left rear off as you're trying to turn in, that's where most of the weight's going to be on the car. You'll see it. For me, at least, I recovered it gracefully enough where I didn't completely loop it, but I still went off into the gravel and had to make my way back on. But give yourself a little bit of room. Brake, brake, brake. Still third gear. Roll the car in. This is another one I probably won't use a lot of the inside curbing if I can help it. Now you can use a little bit of the outside. It's pretty flat. Third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. That nice and gentle. Bring the car back across. Now, the suggested line, braking, I'm actually probably going to be braking, not when it's going to be trying to figure out with the braking boards and the line, try to figure out the right place to brake at. I don't think, at least for what I want to do in this final chicane and what the game suggests that you do for the line, are two different things. So I'm probably going to brake a little bit earlier than the line suggests because I'm going to be turning in earlier. I'm going to actually try and take this chicane as straight as I can and abuse the curbing. So it will be second gear. What I'm trying to do is I'm braking. I'm trying to get my eyes to find the yellow sausage curbing on the inside, because that's what I'm aiming for. And, you know, very slowly I can do it right. So the turn in is basically to straddle the yellow curving here. As I'm straddling it, I'm pretty much straight there. I do want to bring the car back a little bit so that I can turn in and straddle it this way and have a good line out to roll back in up to the final turn. That's what I'd like to do, but I might not be able to do that every lap, and the car certainly, depending on how, again, this is where I talked about, like, oh, don't hit the curbing, it unsettles the car. Don't hit the curbing, it unsettles the car. I'm telling you to hit the curbing because it actually, I think it is. I think when you talk about risk versus reward, it's probably worth the risk at unsettling the car, because if you get it right, you do carry a lot more. You can carry a lot more speed up to the final corner onto the front stretch. Again, you just be careful, because as you're transitioning on and off the curbing, just be careful with your throttle inputs, so that you don't then introduce a wheel spin at the back of the car, and then the front gets grip up and end up spinning off. Final turn, I think I'm in third gear for this, and I think I leave it in third gear. Again, a little bit wide of an entry, late apex it, and I'm usually rolling back onto the throttle. It's more I'm kind of paying attention to the braking line. I'm kind of looking at where the car is in relation to the suites here on the hotel suites here on the outside, to where the curbing ends here. So usually I'm getting back to full throttle, really rolling in right about at this point onto the front stretch. And that's a lap for the Nürburgring GP. And it'd be nice eventually when we get the actual full Nordschleife in the game, but that's not going to be until spring. So let's go ahead and get out of test drive. And actually, I'm going to quit race because in the last one I had the little steering bug. So I'm going to hedge my bets and just completely exit free play. And we'll go back and set the race up. And crap, I wasn't keeping track of my lap time. Well, we'll just... I'm usually better prepared for that, so I can figure out how many laps we'll do. But let's see, we'll do Toyota. Yeah, we have to do Toyota. Okay, we'll do 14 laps, and then we can gauge. I think based off lap time, I think it's about the same lap time as we had at Indy. So we'll just do 14 just for kicks and giggles. We'll do it at sunrise on a cloudy day in Germany. That's all good there. Number of drivatars, cars. We're still going to do it at 825. Although this is another one where, again, there's just seems to be pathing issues with the drivatars. Now, I'm not saying that they'll do it all. I haven't done enough free play with enough different options to the circuit to know if it is a truly pathing issue or if it's maybe I'm kind of contributing to it with what I'm picking for the AI opponents and what they're driving. But let's just say there are still pathing issues. Great order, standing, star descending. Do I still have? Yep, still have pit. Okay, good. Set these options. Okay. Fuel load on this one, because we have a few longer. There's more longer straights where we're full throttle. For the same amount of laps, we're going to have to run a little bit more fuel. Plus, I think maybe the circuit is a little bit longer. Yeah, 3.2. I think that's a little bit longer than Indy GP. So let's go to car, fuel and tire. I'm still going to run the hard compound just for funsies. And we'll go down to 74%, gets me just into the 15 laps. And we'll go ahead and start race. Hopefully I have steering this time. And what I will do is I will pull over to the right here and let the field by, and that'll give me hopefully some traffic to try and race through. And I have steering, that's good. Whoops, careful. And since I'm in traffic and it's going a little bit slower, and cold tires and hard compound, we will just take it very gingerly. That sounds up on the right side. Sounds up on the right side. That's the right side. Left side, right side. I can't tell my left from my right. So, remember I was talking about padding issues? Let's see, how many cars go off in the hairpin? Nope, I'm not going to get that. Okay, so I need to actually step away for a second and handle a phone call. So I'm going to pause the stream. I will be back in a few minutes to finish practicing. So I think the track guide is good enough. But anyhow, be right back. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna, just in case, I'm gonna reset the mic again. There we go. And we're back. Sorry about that. The fetching Mrs. Shaggy SoCal had called. She is on her way home and was asking if she wanted me to pick if I wanted her to pick anything up from for lunch. So so yeah, I gave her my order. She's a much better person than I am, and so I I get to eat when we finish the stream. So let's get back to it. Enough about my personal life. Let's get back to racing. Oh, yeah, we're still on lap one. Okay. A little bit of contact. I'll leave some room because I think oh, someone's in the wall. And again, lap one, I dropped it back and just pathing. It's like I haven't really made any competitive passes. Just keeping on track. All right, so looks like I got a little gap in front of me. Let's see what we can do on the hard compound. And see, that's what I was talking about, getting it too aggressive on the throttle, getting back to power. And there, the upshifts. All right. I got to remember, I'm on the hard compound, which is very unforgiving when the tires start to slide. A little bit because of this. Yeah, he's a little bit. Yep, he's off. Come on, turn 10. There, so I need to move some on the inside. Back down, good. A little bit late. Yeah, the entry into that chicane is going to be. It's going to take me a while to figure that one out. And again, I'm getting that wheel spin mainly because of the hard compound. Soft, I'll probably have a much more grip on the rear tires. Just like that, we are in the lead of the race because we haven't bended it. even though we almost did it there. Fronts just give up. Again, I'm complaining, but it's the hard compound. So relying on the braking line. I need to get out of that habit. Well, second place really gets it wrong in the exit of the chicane. Something I don't normally do on these, but I think just part of the reason why, I mean, again, this is how I practice, offline if I'm not able to make any of the various, practice sessions that you guys run during the week. But part of this is I want cars that I have to try and pass, so I can kind of figure out what I can do. I mean, it's obvious passing zones are obvious, but it's always nice having a bit of traffic to work through, just to give me something else to pay attention, to. Oh, someone's going off. Oh, this is where, I might be able to set up a pass on the exit. I get a good run down to this corner. I can definitely pass there for brake check. It's a little bit frustrating, or a little bit kind of, when you're trying to set up that free play and half the field goes off in the corner. It goes off in one corner, and the other half of the field goes off in the next. It's pretty difficult to really set up. And for me, these are just, I lump these under, these kind of things under, this is fit and finish issues, where, it's like, I complain about the pathing and the AI. There are races that I can actually have pretty decent races with the AI at the front, as long as they're running similar lap times. And again, I'm braking way too late there. Trying to figure out how aggressive I can be through that corner. I shouldn't be doing that. Hey, look, car's off on the left side. Line road go off on the exit here. Yep. Still need to brake earlier. I gotta break my habit of, you know, again, with Forza Motorsport, depending on, you know, for most of the cars, you can brake a little bit into the red. The Horizon seems to be less tolerant of that. Like if you're not braking on Horizon, if you're waiting till you get to the red to brake, and Forza Horizon, you're braking a little bit too late. Oh, what did I get? Night Owl. I just got an achievement. Completed 50 laps at night, even though, well, I mean, the sun's kind of up, my headlights are off, so is it really night? That morning sun is going to be a pain in the butt getting up to the final chicane here. I blame the tires. It's the tires' fault. Okay, we'll box at the end of this lap. We'll switch to the softs and well, I do have a little bit of engine damage. I'm not saying I noticed that I had engine damage because the car was slower. I just know there was a couple of downshifts that pegged the limiter. Yeah, I probably hurt the engine a little bit. Excuse me. Well, I didn't get the braking right, but I at least salvaged the chicane kind of up. That's right. Pit. And it's not going to catch you until the guardrail there, until the Armco. So just be careful coming out. Not coming out of the chicane. Or thinking like, oh, it'll catch me when I get... It's going to catch you late. You do need to brake for pit entry. We're going to go to the soft tires, skip that, and yeah, let's fix our drivetrain. lost all of excuse me, lost all of one spot. Keep it all the way to the inside, all the way down, second gear, and just be careful on the throttle out, especially even if you're on softs. Cold tires that first corner, but they should come up to temperature pretty quickly. The other thing I was thinking about before I realized I had to pit was I was way off on lap count. So, you know, if I'm running 214 as the best lap on the hard compound. Let's see what we do on the soft. So let's see, 20. It might be like a 20. Not 20. It might be 10 to 12 laps probably. Even, you know, soft compound I would think is not gonna, I'm only gonna drop maybe a second or two off the lap time. Trying to run a 25 lap race, then 10 laps right there is 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes. Then you factor in then the every 4 laps is a minute. So there's what? 22 or so. Yeah, 12 to 13 laps probably for the race. That's bad. Penalty.
Total time penalty is about a second.
Yeah, you can still spin the rears up. You can still spin the rear tires up, even on soft side of the first corner, but you get a bit more warning before they completely let go. So you can get out of the throttle and roll back in. Third gear. Again, those turns, you can just tell, you can see the shaking in the front. The front tires, even on softs, give up a little bit. See if I can get the braking right here without going off. I'm blinded by the sun yet. I don't think that's quite what I need it to be for that chicane. But I guess, you know, as long as I'm not bending it in the wall on exit, I'll, you know, take what I can get. little too wide. I could just feel the got a little bit of feedback in the wheel when I got the tires on the outside there on the right. Yeah, because what I'm trying to do is on the entry to that chicane is I want to get the turn in done. I really want to have the steering unwound as I'm getting that inside curving. I really don't want to hit that curving with any kind of steering angle or weight transfer on the right side of the car. So it's just trying to get the timing of getting that initial turn in done so the car is kind of straight going across the first curving, which then hopefully sets me up nicely for the second. Third gear seems to work a little bit there. It just feels a little bit low-geed out of the hairpin. Again, here, for this is the other tricky one. Up, short shift to third, roll in, hit that inside, then roll back into the throttle. Seems to work. So, and again, I'm on soft tires, so I've got a little bit more grip to work with. Notice when I get on the curbing, I stay off the throttle until I know I'm off of it. I don't want to induce any wheel spin, understeer if I can help it. Oh, this is no good. Ah, the sun blind. The other reason why, as you practice, try and find static reference points where you can, because depending on what the sun's doing, you can see there, heading up that back switch that chicane.
3 to go.
Can't see the braking line worth anything with the sun glare. So, at that point, then I am looking for silhouettes of braking boards. Not see the that yellow curving at all on that first part of the chicane. Hopefully I only have to put up with that sun for another lap or two. Hopefully maybe the last lap it'll be high enough. Ooh, car didn't like that, I don't think. Oh, no engine damage, okay. As I mess up that corner. Catching a back marker who's probably going to go off of the exit of the hairpin. What do you think? Oh, surprise, surprise. Using the access road. I'm actually braking just to get past the access road. can't see the curving at all. Bad braking. Doing like a little, notice I'm doing a little cadence break on the entry there. I don't even know if it's registering the game or not. I just find my left foot is tapping the brake just as I go to turn in for the Schumacher S. Looking for that access road on the right side. We'll brake just as I get past it. So probably a little bit early, but given how blinding, how hard it is to see curving, that re-entry could have been a little bit better. All right, let's see if we can set a good fast last lap. Hopefully I haven't. Hopefully this last lap won't be dirty. Nope, it will.
Final lap. You got
Hello.
it. Third gear actually might be okay here. And you do get a little... Gravity does help you on the downhill on the exit, so... Why are you braking there? There's no need to brake there. Even if you don't have a mighty weight on the back of your car. And that's Nürburgring GP. Sorry, wish the race was a little more exciting with the AI, but they decided they'd like to explore other aspects of the circuit. But, and again, all right, so what I was running, hard compound was like I was in the 214s, and there's the 210. That last lap, I think I was up by almost half a second. So, yeah, I think when we get to the race, it's going to be about 12, 13 laps probably. Might be 14. I mean, I did a 14 lap race and it was 32 minutes.
Yeah. So, take a couple laps off. You take 2 laps off of that. That's at least 4 minutes there. So, 28. So, yeah. Yeah, 12, 13 laps probably. But uh, that'll do it for the track guides. Sorry about the pause in the middle, but when when your significant other or your better half, ball and chain, however you want to call it, when they are calling and saying, "Hey, do you want me to pick something up on the way home?" Yeah, I'm gonna take that call. But hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll hopefully see you on track on Thursday. And happy racing.